Well, the key thing is to make sure that the race gets away safely now. There's a lot going on, so there's lots of crowds around, far bigger crowds than we expected, I have to say. But to keep the area uncongested for the signing on area, that's important. Then you can see that we're gradually assembling the race convoy that moves ahead of the race, and then we'll get the riders will then have to come into this area. We'll get them away smoothly, and then the convoy will join on the back. So we've got well-established practices that will make that work. Just a lot of congestion with crowds, which we like. It adds to the atmosphere.
Yeah, convoy. Portion in the convoy, road narrows. Portion in the convoy, road narrows. Okay, you're a little bit fast in front. Okay, just knock it down there.
How long's the neutral? About 5 miles.
Motor regulator.
5.4 miles.
Good morning, Tom.
Right,
motor regulator.
take it out at your pace, all right?
Right, in the broom.
Looking
microphone,
good.
you're receiving, over.
Tour of Britain and a stage race is not a script. It changes from minute to minute. So hopefully you're on the ball. But we've got a good team. They all know what they're doing most of the time. We make sure that the police are in the right place, the NEG are in the right place, and any decisions that's come from the back or comes to the front, we then apply that decision, whether it's to the police, to the commissaires, because basically we are told the information, then we ask our race direction behind what's happening, they tell us, and then them as a race director in the bunch, they then implement their decisions.
The first thing is to get the race away safely and to make sure they go through the neutralised zone and then get the race underway. Typically there are lots of attacks there. Race control approaching kilometre 0, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Race on, over.
Let's have a little bit more space at the moment so we know what's happening.
And the KOM start for the peloton. And 4 riders just go clear of the peloton.
Are you constantly having to think about what's up ahead?
Yeah, I'm looking at the race safety manual here, deciding when to warn and when not, because you don't want to issue too many instructions, and they're used to operating on very narrow roads. I mean, the commissaires are running the race. They're responsible for running the competition. So as the race controller, what we're looking to do is make sure the safety of the race, looking for hazards. You might have schools that are watching the race, they could be spilling out onto the road, things like that, and trying to anticipate the unexpected.
Controller, more That's 2 minutes 35 at the spin line.
That's the first time on the whole race where the riders have got near to us.
2 minutes and 35 seconds. 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
I think that happened at about 150 metres, probably, the whole incident. So they were distant and then suddenly on us.
We've got to keep eye on the riders, make sure that the riders all stay the same distance, and the riders' safety. Make sure there's nothing in the road, that the crowds are not impinging on the roads. You can't really put your finger on it because every mile is different.
KOM start now for the peloton.
3 minutes 20. Very careful in the convoy, very tight. Lots of people, very careful please.
Back, please, give them room. Move back, move back. Move back. Move back.
No change, that gap in 3 minutes 35 seconds. Latest time advantage 3:35.
Today's going to be very different. Surrey, narrow lanes, very steep hills. Compare that with Llanberis, where we went up, not deserted, there were big crowds, but in the middle of North Wales, empty, big, wide, good visibility of the roads, big crowds, but very different from the Surrey Hills. So we're really watching very carefully to make sure what goes on. Race controller, large crowds and narrowing onto the road at 95.6 kilometres over.
Latest time advantage is 1 minute and 50 seconds, 150, 1 minute 50.
West London now for the peloton. Christopher, Rob, what markers have you got running at the moment, Rob?
Got a repeater in our car which helps radio broadcasting, and another car has got a problem with that, so it basically boosts the signal. So we're going to go back to the front of the bunch, swapping with another race controller, so that our signal that boosts all the radio is in a more central location.
At the head of the peloton, and the gap remains 1 minute and 40.
Wedding pictures being taken as the break passes. Fairly unique. After taking service, 9292, Angel Madrazo returns to the peloton. Latest time advantage is 1 minute 20 seconds. 1 minute 20 seconds for the leaders. 15 kilometres to the finish for all the leaders. 15 k's to the finish for the leaders.
This is going to get frantic in the last 5 miles because they want to catch them with about a kilometre to go, ideally, so that another attack doesn't go, and then to set the sprint up.
That's just 1 minute. 1 minute we have now.
We assume our
45
position, they
seconds.
go back to the
45
break.
seconds. All together. All together. All back together at the front of the race.
It's really close. Look, Champions takes up in the run. It's a good one. Nice finish. Crosses the line.
It's a sense of achievement, you know. Sort of, I'm glad when it's finished, you know. Sort of, but every time you start, well, you're just waiting. As long as you do your job, that's I love it.
Fantastic day. We got the perfect result. We got Cavendish winning, you know, penultimate stage, fantastic sprint, and then Wiggins in yellow. So great day, good safe race. That's our priority. Packed crowds. I was a bit worried getting through. There were so many towns I can't remember them. Farnham was packed. Purbright, the small village outside, was packed. Everywhere we went through was never seen so many people. It's a fantastic buzz. It's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, quite scary at times, but I think I've got the best job in the world.